people why those were chosen, and I thought there were some really good ones. This group had a deal is a deal, and that was pulled out as a golden line. Do you want to share why that was a good golden line?
I think it was a golden line because normally people don't say a deal is a deal if they're friends, but then if you don't know the person, it would seem kind of rude.
Maybe it'd be
and that's just a reality check. But then in books, it seems really funny when you say it.
Okay. And so it kind of relates to his situation and really wanting that secret recipe, right? Also, this group back here, you did a great job at having a conversation. They shared about the summary. They talked about questions like, would you actually want to buy the secret recipe? Do you actually trust Sharon? They knew characters' names. They were having a great conversation. This group was helping their partner, who wasn't here, be able to have a conversation about it. They were catching her up on the book, and they were doing a really nice job. I didn't get to this group over here, and these guys are going to work on being totally ready for Wednesday, right? So that brings up a little point. I'm going to ask you guys to think about this for a second. So if you go to your group, and somebody hasn't done their job, how does that help your group, or how does that hinder your group? Tell me, you guys.
It will make it kind of harder because then you'll have to wait a couple of minutes for them to do their job. Or it can actually help you more because if somebody got confused the next time, if they wanted to be that job, they had a couple of questions about it, then they can ask. So it can be helpful or not very.
Okay. Helpful if they didn't, maybe they didn't know which job, and so your group could help. That'd be great, okay? A problem if they didn't come to do the reading, right? And a problem if they weren't prepared to talk about the book. If you don't know who Sharon is, or you don't know who Nate, right? Nate's the kid with the freckles. If you don't know who those people are, then you don't know what's happening in the story, and you can't really have a very good conversation about it. This group was doing a really good job at having a conversation also. They had some great golden lines. I'm sorry I didn't get to your group, but I'm going to get to your group on Wednesday. Your group is counting on you. So here's the thing. For Wednesday, we're meeting again in literature circles. You'll have a new job on Wednesday. So before you leave your groups today, you need to figure out what's your new job. You also need to figure out the page number. We're going to go to the end of chapter 4, not to chapter 5 yet, the end of chapter 4 by Wednesday. So would somebody open their book and find that page for us? 34. Which page?
34.
34. So you'll read to page 34 by Wednesday, okay? So write that right here on your pink bookmark. Read to page 34 by 11:21, right? And then we get to have a little small lit circles. If we get together and we move quicker on Wednesday, getting into our groups and getting down to our jobs, we may have a little extra time to finish other reading on Wednesday. Are there any questions about how your group worked or anything you want to say to the whole class?
Because that might be the most important job, and you might not be able to do your literacy circles because of that one person.
Your group would certainly be missing a big piece of conversation, right? Thanks, that was perfect. And Jason, did you have something to add?
Not to his, but just wanted to say something. That if you don't get your homework done, well other people think that you are, and they're ready, then it'll slow it down, and then it'll be bad because they'll be ready and they'll have worked all that time, but then they'll only get to share like one thing, and then that'll be all. So it's like they didn't work, so they worked all that time for nothing because the other people didn't do it.
Right. They can't have a very good conversation by themselves, right? If they've done the work and nobody else has. So this book, Mr. Regal and I chose Freckle Juice as a practice. And it's a good thing we have a practice, right? Because if we were in a book that really was demanding and really was asking you to read more pages or really asking you to think a lot deeper about it, if your group didn't come prepared and only maybe one or two of you came prepared, it certainly wouldn't be a very good conversation, okay? I know we decided this was a fairly small, short book that some people had seen before, but I think that it's been a really good practice for us. Okay. Any other questions?